The attic was dustier than I remembered, boxes stacked like cardboard mountains holding 28 years of memories. I'd only come up here to find my old high school yearbook. My 10-year reunion was next month, and I wanted to prepare myself for the inevitable "what are you doing now?" conversations. That's when I heard my mother's voice drifting up through the floorboards. "Martin makes over $200,000 now. He won't even notice the payments." I froze, yearbook in hand. "Martin? That was me. But won't he need to sign something?" "That was my sister, Sophia." Her voice sounded strained, desperate in a way that made my chest tight. "We'll handle that," my father said, his tone dismissive. "Power of attorney, remember? We can sign for him." "Power of attorney? What power of attorney?" I set the yearbook down silently and pulled out my phone, opening the voice recorder app. Whatever this was, I needed evidence. "I don't know," Sophia continued. "Maybe I should just declare bankruptcy. Start over." "Absolutely not." Mother's voice was sharp. "What would people think? A Fitzgerald declaring bankruptcy? No. Your brother will handle this. That's what family does." "Family," Sophia laughed bitterly. "Right. The same family that cut me off when I chose social work over law school." "Don't be dramatic," Father said. "We didn't cut you off. We simply redirected our resources to where they'd be best utilized. You paid for Martin's MBA and gave him $100,000 for his startup. You told me I was on my own if I wanted to waste my potential. And look where you are now," Mother replied. $40,000 in student loans, credit card debt, barely making rent. While Martin is successful. I get it. You've made that clear every Christmas for the past 5 years. My hands shook as I held the phone, recording every word. They were discussing my money, my future, like I was their personal ATM. "The bank needs an answer by Friday," Sophia said. "If I can't restructure the debt." "You'll co-sign it with Martin's information," Father interrupted. "The payment will come from his accounts. He has that ridiculous salary, no wife, no children. What's he spending it on anyway? Maybe he's saving?" Sophia suggested weakly. Mother laughed. "Martin? Save? He probably wastes it all on those gadgets and video games. This will actually help him be more responsible with money." "Video games." I was the chief technology officer of a major fintech company, and they thought I spent my money on video games. "How much are we talking about?" Sophia asked. "Between your student loans, the credit cards, and the medical bills from your surgery last year, roughly $90,000. $90,000. They were planning to secretly saddle me with $90,000 of my sister's debt. "I'll pay him back," Sophia said quickly. "Once I get on my feet." "Of course you will," Father said, but his tone suggested he didn't believe it. "Martin won't even know. We'll handle everything through the family trust account. He never checks those statements anyway." The family trust. The one they'd told me was dissolved years ago. "But what if he finds out?" Sophia asked. "He won't," Mother said confidently. "Martin's always been too trusting. Remember when we used his college fund to bail out your father's business? He never even questioned where his scholarship suddenly came from." "My college fund. They'd told me I'd won a merit scholarship." "That was different," Sophia protested. "He was 18. He's 28 now with a career, investments, and a duty to his family," Father finished. "He'll understand. Eventually, when you're back on your feet and successful, we'll tell him the truth. He'll probably laugh about it." "I don't want to do this," Sophia said, but her voice was defeated. "It feels wrong." "What's wrong is letting pride destroy your future," Mother said. "Martin has more than enough. Sharing with family isn't theft, it's responsibility. He just needs encouragement to remember that responsibility." "By forging his signature?" "By facilitating family support," Father corrected. "Now, bring those loan documents by tomorrow. We'll handle everything." I heard chairs scraping, footsteps moving. They were done. $90,000 of debt, decided over afternoon tea in the study, like they were planning a dinner menu. I stopped recording and sat in the dusty attic, surrounded by boxes of my childhood, processing what I'd just learned. My parents, wealthy, retired, living in a house worth $2 million, were planning to forge my signature to pay my sister's debts. Not with their money, but with mine. The same parents who'd raised me to value honesty, integrity, hard work. Who'd lectured me about personal responsibility every time I'd asked for help. Who'd apparently stolen my college fund and let me believe I'd earned a scholarship through merit. I climbed down from the attic quietly, slipping out the back door before anyone saw me. In my car, I sat for a moment, then made the first call. Henderson Financial Advisors, a pleasant voice answered. This is Martin Fitzgerald. I need to speak with James Henderson immediately. Tell him it's an emergency regarding my accounts. Within an hour, every account I had was locked down. New passwords, new security questions, alerts for any access attempts. James, who'd been my advisor for 3 years, was horrified when I explained the situation. They mentioned power of attorney, I told him. I've never signed one. Let me check. There's nothing on file here. If they try to present one, it's fraudulent. Do you want me to flag your accounts? Flag everything. And I need a lawyer. The second call was to my college roommate, now a corporate attorney. They're planning to what? David's voice was incredulous. Forge my signature on loan documents. Make me co-signer for $90,000 in debt. That's fraud. Multiple counts. Your parents could go to prison. I know. The words sat heavy in my stomach. What are my options? Depends what you want. Protect yourself? Prosecute them? Help your sister without enabling this insanity. All of the above? David laughed grimly. Let me make some calls. I drove home to my condo. The one my parents didn't know I'd paid cash for, part of the life they'd never bothered to learn about. They thought I wasted money on video games. They didn't know about my investment portfolio, the startup I'd sold for 7 figures, the board positions I held. They knew Martin the child, the trusting son who never questioned where his college fund went. They didn't know Martin the adult, who'd learned the hard way that trust without verification was just naivety. That night, I did research. Pulled credit reports, bank statements, family trust documents I'd never thought to examine before. The pattern went back years. Small amounts here and there, transfers that coincided with my birthdays and holidays, times when they knew I'd have extra money. They'd been skimming from me since I'd gotten my first real job. The next morning, I called Sophia. Martin. She sounded surprised. What's up? Want to grab coffee? I'm near your place. We met at a small cafe downtown, far from our parents' neighborhood. Sophia looked tired, older than her 26 years. Social work paid nothing, and the stress showed in the lines around her eyes. You look good, she said, fidgeting with her coffee cup. Success suits you. Does it? Mom and Dad seem to think I'm wasting it all on video games. She froze. What? I was in the attic yesterday, getting my yearbook. Amazing what you can hear through old floorboards. Her face crumbled. Martin, $90,000 in debt? Tears started falling. I'm so sorry. I told them no. I said it was wrong. But you were still going to go through with it. What choice do I have? She looked up at me, mascara running. Do you know what it's like being the family failure? Every holiday, every birthday, it's Martin's doing so well. And why can't you be more like your brother? I chose to help people instead of chase money, and they've punished me for it ever since. So you were going to punish me? No. I don't know. I'm drowning, Martin. The student loans, the credit cards I used for textbooks and rent when they cut me off, the surgery bills from when my appendix burst. I make $38,000 a year helping at-risk kids, and I can barely afford ramen. Why didn't you ask me? She laughed bitterly. Ask my successful brother for money? Prove Mom and Dad right that I'm the family screw-up who needs rescuing. So instead, you were going to let them steal from me? I was going to pay you back. How? When? You just said you can barely afford ramen. She stared into her coffee, unable to answer. I pulled out my phone and showed her my bank app. See this account? It has $250,000 in it. Know what it's called? She shook her head. Sophia Emergency Fund. I started it 5 years ago, when Mom and Dad cut you off. Every month, I put money aside in case you needed help. Waiting for you to ask, to trust me enough to let me be your brother instead of the golden child Mom and Dad created. Fresh tears fell. You saved money for me? While you were planning to rob me. I wouldn't have. She stopped, shoulders sagging. Yes. I was going to let them do it. I'm a terrible person. No, I said firmly. You're a desperate person who's been manipulated by our parents into believing theft is better than honesty. But we're going to fix this. How? First, you're going to document everything. Every debt, every payment, every conversation with Mom and Dad about money. Second, you're going to meet with my financial advisor and lawyer. We're restructuring your debt legitimately, with payment plans you can actually afford. Martin, I can't take your money. You're not taking anything. I'm investing in my sister. There's a difference. What about Mom and Dad? I smiled grimly. That's the third step. We're going to have a family dinner. And we're going to play them a recording. 3 days later, we sat around my parents' dining room table. The same mahogany monstrosity where they'd planned to defraud me. "This is nice," Mother said, serving her famous pot roast. "Both our children together. Although, Martin, you really should visit more often." "I've been busy," I said. "Managing all that money I waste on video games." Father chuckled. "Still playing those things? At your age?" "Actually, I invested in a gaming company last year. Sold my shares for $800,000 profit. But you're right, total waste of money." The silence was deafening. "800,000? Mother's voice was faint. "Surprise. Your video game-playing son understands investments. Speaking of which, Sophia has something to share." My sister pulled out her phone with trembling hands. "I recorded this 3 days ago. In the study." She hit play. My parents' voices filled the room, clear and damning. "Tell the bank your brother will co-sign. He makes $200,000 now. He won't even notice the payments. Power of attorney, remember? We can sign for him. Martin's always been too trusting. Remember when we used his college fund to bail out your father's business?" I watched my parents' faces transform from confusion to horror to rage as their own words condemned them. "You recorded us?" Father slammed his hand on the table. "In our own home? Like you were planning to forge my signature?" I countered. "Let's talk about that power of attorney you mentioned. The one that doesn't exist." "Martin, sweetheart," Mother tried her soothing voice. "You don't understand the full situation. I understand fraud. I understand conspiracy. I understand that my parents, who have a $2 million house and a healthy retirement portfolio, were planning to steal $90,000 from me rather than help their daughter themselves. It's not stealing when it's family. It's literally stealing." I stood up. "Forging signatures, fraudulent documents, identity theft. These aren't family favors, they're felonies. You'd report your own parents?" Father's face was purple. "I should, but I won't. Under one condition." They leaned forward, desperate. "You're going to pay Sophia's debts. All of them. From your money, not mine." "That's ridiculous," Father started. "That's non-negotiable. You created this situation when you cut her off for choosing a career you didn't approve of. You'll fix it." "We don't have that kind of liquid cash," Mother protested. "Sell the boat. Sell the vacation house. Sell some of your stock portfolio. I've seen your finances. You can afford it without even changing your lifestyle. You've seen how dare you? How dare I? You stole my college fund. You've been skimming from my accounts for years. You were planning to forge my signature. We're past privacy concerns." Sophia spoke up, voice small but firm. "I've already sent the recording to myself. And Martin. And our lawyer. So don't think about trying to deny this later." "Lawyer?" Mother looked between us. "You went to a lawyer?" "My lawyer," I clarified. "Who's documenting everything in case you decide not to cooperate. He's particularly interested in the college fund theft. Statute of limitations hasn't run out on that. The fight went out of them like air from a punctured balloon. If we pay her debts," Father said slowly, "this recording disappears?" "The recording stays. Insurance. But I won't use it as long as you fulfill your obligations." "What obligations?" Mother asked. I pulled out a document. "This contract. You'll pay Sophia's debts in full within 30 days. You'll also set up a trust fund for her, equal to what you spent on my MBA. You'll never attempt to access my accounts again. And you'll apologize." "Apologize?" Father scoffed. "To both of us. Me for the attempted fraud and years of theft. Sophia for the emotional manipulation and financial abandonment. Real apologies, not your usual deflections." "This is extortion," Mother said. "This is consequences," I corrected. "Something you taught me all about. Remember all those lectures about personal responsibility?" They signed the contract. They paid the debts. They even managed strangled apologies, though they tasted like vinegar in their mouths. But the family dinner stopped. The holiday gatherings became strained. They'd been exposed, and narcissists never forgive that. 6 months later, Sophia called me laughing. "You'll never guess what Mom told Aunt Patricia." "What?" "That you and I conspired to extort money from them. That we're ungrateful children who don't appreciate everything they've done for us." "Sounds about right. How's the new apartment?" "Perfect. And the job, Martin, the job is amazing. Without the debt hanging over me, I could actually choose where I wanted to work instead of just taking whatever paid the most. I'm running a whole program now for homeless youth. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us." We broke the cycle. She was right. We'd broken free from the toxic pattern of financial manipulation masquerading as family love. Our parents still had their money, their house, their reputation. But they'd lost their children, not to anger or revenge, but to truth. And sometimes the most expensive price you can pay is free. I still have the recording. Still have the contract. Still have the emergency fund with Sophia's name on it, though now she doesn't need it. Because real family doesn't wait for you to drown before throwing you a rope. Real family doesn't steal from you while preaching about responsibility. Real family shows up with coffee and honesty, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. My parents taught me about money, success, and winning at all costs. But Sophia taught me something worth more. That choosing integrity over easy money isn't just the right thing to do. It's the only way to sleep peacefully in a bed you've paid for yourself.